Today's class, let us study about the Smith chart. So, the Smith chart is developed by Smith in 1939. Basically, the Smith chart is a graphical tool which is used to analyze the transmission lines. The transmission lines can be analyzed using either analytical method and graphical method, but analytical method is the most complex one and time consuming process. So, therefore, instead of using the analytical method, we are using the graphical method, and in the graphical method this Smith chart is one of the tool which you are using to determine or to calculate the various parameters related to the transmission lines. Figure shows the Smith chart. If you look into this particular figure, it looks too much complicated. Now, so on this particular Smith chart, we are supposed to analyze the transmission lines and the various parameters and the various values have been marked on these circles, and also and the various parameters are also present in the horizontal lines. Let us see the enlarged view of this Smith chart. And now see this horizontal line, what you can observe it here. We are taking it as a real impedance axis, and whatever these lines are there, so these are called, we are taking it as imaginary impedance axis. Now horizontal line, we are taking it as real impedance axis, and these particular curved whatever the lines are there, so these lines we are taking it as imaginary impedance axis. Among many lines which have been shown in the previous slides, only few are taken in this. Now, so this is your real axis, and so this we are taking it as imaginary axis. If you take an impedance is nothing but generally what you are writing it as Jx. The impedance Z is equal to R plus Jx. This X may be a capacitive reactance or X may be a inductive reactance. Now, we want to plot this particular impedance on this Smith chart. Then, so whatever this R is there, R we are taking along this particular horizontal axis, horizontal line, and whatever this particular Jx is there, so Jx we are taking whatever, so these particular blue lines are present in this. Now, as on this particular axis, okay, we are marking the resistances. It is in terms of the ohms, okay, and so from this particular point here the resistance goes on increasing, and from this particular point the resistance goes on decreasing. From this particular point we are having increased value of the resistance, and from this particular point toward the left we are having the decreased value of the resistance if you go in this particular directions. So, this upper one what we are considering, so this we are taking for a inductive reactance, and the bottom one we are taking the capacitive reactance. If your impedance R plus XL is there, so then we are concentrating on the upper part of this particular Smith chart, and instead of that Z is equal to R plus Jxc, so then we are taking and we are considering the bottom part of Smith chart. And so whatever these particular dotted circles are there, so these are called as a constant resistance circles, and whatever these values are there, this one or this one similarly, so this one and this one and this one, so these are taking it as a constant reactance circles. Now, if you observe it here we have marked the 2 points. At the right hand side a dot has been shown, and at the left hand side a dot has been shown. Here we are taking it as a short circuit point. Wherever a short circuit is there, so then the impedance is equal to 0. And on the right hand side we have taken Z equal to infinity or nothing but this we are taking it as a open circuit. Whenever a open circuit is there, impedance equal to infinity. Then here at the center point, if you observe it here, so Z equal to 1. Now, so this is the point, because as you know, whatever this particular green line, the horizontal line is shown. So this is the resistance line. Now at this particular point, if you consider this particular equation, so this reactance part is 0, then this Z is equal to R. Along this particular line, the reactance is 0, only the resistive components are present. So therefore, so this X equal to 0 at this particular point, so the value of R equal to 1, therefore that is value of R equal to 1, therefore Z is equal to R equal to 1. Now from this point onwards, if you move toward the right hand side, you are getting an increased value of the resistance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. And from this particular point, if you are coming towards the left hand side, so the value of the resistance is decreasing. So that means you will get 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.4 like this. And then, so this is the circle what the blue line what it has been shown. So this is a circle when a resistance value, the real component of this resistance value is equal to 3. And this is the circle. So what we are having is when R equal to 1. So like this, you can observe it here. You have one circle, and here also one circle, here also one circle. Like this, so many circles are present on the Smith chart. Now, coming to the upper part and the lower part, as I already told you, the upper part is we are using whenever our reactance is inductive reactance XL, and the lower part we are using whenever our reactance is a capacitive reactance. Okay. Now, so for this particular purpose, the upper part we are using imaginary equal to 1, and for the lower part we are taking it as a imaginary is equal to minus 1. If it is inductive, then Z is equal to R plus J XL, because it is a positive, here a plus sign is there. So therefore, we are counting the upper part of the circle. Therefore, here the imaginary component value is equal to plus 1 is taken. And if it is of capacitive reactance type, then impedance is equal to Z is equal to R minus JXC. Here you are having the negative sign. And therefore, what we are taking, we are counting the lower part. So this is how, so whenever the impedance is given, the resistive component we are taking on this horizontal axis, and if it is inductive, we are concentrating on the upper part of the Smith chart, and whenever it is capacitive, we are concentrating on the lower part of the Smith chart. Closely, if you observe this particular Smith chart, so here a circles are there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 circles are there. Okay, now nothing is visible for you. Okay, when you look into this, now let us see the enlarged view Smith chart. That is, what are the things have been marked on this. Now, so on the circumference of this particular Smith charts, okay, so things what have been marked are shown in this, and these are the values which we are using when you are analyzing the transmission line with the help of the Smith chart. Okay, let us see one more enlarged view. Okay, now here you have an angle of reflection coefficient, so many other values have been marked in this, and so these values, depending upon what parameters we are calculating for the Smith chart, we are considering so these particular values. Now, whenever we are taking the impedance, so then the left hand side we are taking it as a short circuit, and the right hand side we are taking it as a open circuit, and here okay, impedance is taken as 0, and here the impedance is taken as infinity. Now, if you want to analyze, so the same transmission line in terms of admittance instead of impedance, then admittance is given by y is equal to 1 over z. So at that particular point, what will be done is that entire Smith chart is there, you turn it from right hand side, you take it to the left hand side, and left hand side you have to take it to the right hand side. Okay, and rest of the calculation remains same. Let's see how we are supposed to mark a particular impedance on this particular Smith chart. Suppose for you, the impedance given is Z is equal to 2 plus J2. Okay, now this is my resistive component, and this is my reactive component. Now first what you have to do is, so as this is Z is equal to 1, okay, as you are moving along this line, so the values of resistance goes on increasing, and if you are coming in this direction, the value of the resistance goes on decreasing. Now here you want the values of R equal to 2, so this is R equal to 1, and somewhere here R equal to 2, I have to mark this particular one. and then J2, okay, impedance 1. So these lines are there, okay. Other lines it is not visible at this particular scale. Now assume that, let us to solve the problem. So this particular line itself, I am taking an example, j equal to 2, okay. And now, so this is the line, so what you are having, okay. Now, so the point where, so these two will cross, we are supposed to mark it. Just for example, I can say that, so this is the point what I am having. Now, I will mark it as like this. Assuming, okay, this is equal to 2 and so this is equal to J2. Now, so this point is equal to J2, then so this point is equal to J plus 2 plus J2. So this is how you can mark an impedance on the Smith chart. Let us solve one problem using this particular Smith chart, and the given problem is okay. Now, the given problem is a transmission line with a characteristic impedance of 25 minus j 100 ohms, okay. Determine voltage reflection coefficient at the load end of the line using a Smith chart. Now, this is a transmission line, and this is here you have connected a load is ZL, and so this is the input side, okay. Now, whatever the load what it has been connected here, it is 25 minus j 100 ohms. Now, when the transmission line is there, so now you can be in this particular position and look toward the load, that is you are at the transmitting side and you are looking toward the receiving end, and you may be in this position and you are looking toward in this direction, that is you are at the receiving end or you are at the load end, so then you are looking toward the generator or the input end. We will come across two terms, one is towards generator and the second one is towards the load. So coming to this, okay, towards the generator means you are at the load end or at the receiving end and you are looking toward the input end or the generator end. And towards the load means you are at the input side or the sending side, so then you are looking toward the load end. And that means here you are moving in this direction and here you are moving in this directions. Now, towards the generator, that means to say that when you want to move towards the generator, we will move in this direction, that is towards generator, and towards the load, okay, and that time you are moving in these directions, that is towards the load. Getting? So when you are moving toward the generators, from this point we have to move in the clockwise directions, and towards the load, from the same point we have to move in the anti-clockwise directions. Now, next thing is, from this particular point, if you complete one circle in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction, then the total distance traveled will be lambda by 2, where the lambda is the wavelength. So from this particular point, suppose you are moving in this direction and covering up to this particular point, so the distance covered will be equal to lambda by 4. Okay. Now from this particular point, you are moving in this direction, covering a distance up to this, so there also the distance covered will be lambda by 4. So that means to say that if you start from one particular point, either from here or either from there, if you cover half of this particular Smith chart, then the distance covered is lambda by 4, and you complete the Smith chart, so then the distance covered is lambda by 2. After the basics, let us try to solve this particular problem on the Smith chart. Now, as you know, on the Smith charts, whatever the values are marked is of very small values. The resistance value starting from 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, only this much values are there. But whatever the impedance it has been given, so that is load impedance which is given to you is this large value, and there is no markings are there on this particular Smith chart to plot this particular values. So therefore, we have to calculate the normalized load impedance. That is, you have to normalize this particular load impedance, then plot the values on the Smith chart. Okay. For the normalized load impedance, so I will represent it as Zn. Okay. This is equal to, so ZL, so divided by Z0, where, so this Z0 is equal to characteristic impedance of transmission line. Okay. One of the most commonly used are the standard value of, so this will be 50 ohms. 50 ohms is the most general or commonly used characteristic impedance of any transmission lines. Now, so what you have to do is, now this normalized impedance is equal to 25 minus J100, so divided by 50, so will be your normalized load impedance. So this value is coming to be around 0.5 minus J2. Now, so this is your normalized load impedance. This normalized load impedance, now you have to mark it on this. Now this is my resistive component and this is my reactive component. Now, to mark on this, first take the resistive component along the this horizontal line, see where, so this particular 0.5 has been marked, where the particular 0.5 has been marked, and then along this particular imaginary axis, see where this particular 2 has been marked. So closely if you observe in this particular point, so this is the point, okay, this is the point where we are coming across, so those particular values. So there we will mark, so this. Once you get this one, take a compass with the radius of OA, so draw a circle. Okay. Now repeating once again, with OA as a center, take a compass up to point A, then with OA as a radius, so draw one particular circle. Okay. So this particular circle is, we are calling it as a constant rho circle, and now then, so this particular circle is cutting at this particular point. Okay. And also, so this particular circle is cutting, so at this particular point. Once you get this one, Now take a compass with a value is equal to A. With O, see this A, okay, from the compass, put a mark on this, okay. So you are getting, so this particular line. Now, so this particular point is going to give you the voltage reflection coefficients. So what it has been asked in the problem. So the value is that means that, so at this particular point you are getting a value, so that value is equal to 0.82. Then, so this particular point what you have been marked here, extend it up to the next circular line what it has been shown here, and at this particular point you are getting an angle, so that angle is equal to minus 51 degrees. Why you are getting a minus 51 degrees means because our reactance is a capacitive reactance, we are taking the bottom part of the signal. And if your reactance is of inductive part, so then we are going to get the angle in terms of positives. Now let us consider one more problem. Determine the length of short circuited stub having characteristic impedance Z0 equal to 200 ohms and Zs equal to minus j 100 ohms using Smith chart. Okay, Zs has been given, this is 100 ohms, characteristic impedance is given, that is equal to 200 ohms. Now you have to calculate the normalized load impedance. So the normalized load impedance is equal to Zs, so divided by Z0. So this is minus j 100 divided by 200. Okay. Okay. Now normalized load impedance equal to Zs divided by Z0. So Zs is equal to minus j 100 ohms, Z0 is equal to 200 ohms. If I divide it, I am going to get the value as minus j 0.5. Closely if you observe this question, so here the resistive component is missing, only the reactive component is present, that is capacitive reactance. Now, so for, see where this minus j 0.5 is there. So these are the small circles what you are getting, where this particular minus j 0.5 is there, and that you have to mark it. So then from this particular point, so you have to join this particular point. So this is the point where we are having, so the value equal to 1. Now, so here, so this you have to join it, and once you join these particular things, so then from A, once again you have to extend it to A dash. I will repeat once again. Zs divided Z0, we are getting the normalized impedance. This is equal to minus j 0.5. Here the resistive component is missing, only the reactive components are present. So therefore, so all these particular whatever the lines are there, on these particular lines, see where the point corresponding to my 0.5. So mark that particular 0.5 and then so join this particular line up to A. Then extend this line from A to A dash. So then what you are supposed to do is that this is a short circuit point and this is your open circuit point. Then move toward the generator. Okay. So this is whatever the arrow marks have been shown. Okay. Come up to this particular point and see here from this particular point, so to this particular point, so what will be the length. So then, so this is L by is equal to 0.426. I am repeating once again. First calculate the normalized impedance. So then you are getting it as minus j0.5. Here the resistive component is 0, only the reactive component is present, and for the reactive components 0.5 is there. So whatever these particular lines are there, see where that 0.5 belongs to that, point it and join from 0 to A. Now from A you have to extend it to A dash, then start from this particular point, okay, this whatever this arrow mark have been shown, move along this particular line and come up to this particular point. Okay. So from this point to this particular point when you are moving, here some points have been marked on this, measure this particular values. So that value is going to be 0.426. Okay. My L by lambda is equal to 0.46, then L is equal to 0.426 lambda. If you know the value of the lambda, okay, you can calculate the exact length. That is lambda equal to C divided by F. If you know the values of the operating frequency and this is the velocity of the light, if you substitute it here, I am going to get the values of the lambda. Once you substitute the values of the lambda, then you are going to get the length of the stub.